everybody. Welcome to Success Saturday with me, Lakisha. I am your certified life coach, your destiny cheer captain, and I come on here every Saturday at 9:30 to talk to you about life. I specialize in life planning in your life areas and making you productive and making your life peaceful. So, welcome to my Saturday just talk. I usually always talk about the weather. The weather here is simply amazing, everybody. So make sure if you have good weather on this beautiful Saturday that you get out and make sure that you give yourself some love today. Y'all, I am so excited. I am in the middle of a series called Let, L-E-T. So if you have not seen my first two videos, the first was Let Haters Hate, and the second one was Let Toxic People Go. You got to get on over there in my channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you can catch up on this series. Today is the third out of four, the third day on the word let. And I am recording this. I'm usually live, but I'm not available, so I am doing a premiere. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is how to let go of chains that are holding you down. Chains, shackles. Yes, how to let them go. A lot of times, we have chains that carry on from our childhood that we just don't let go. And sometimes we don't even realize that we've carried these chains over into our childhood. So I'm going to talk to you today about 6 ways to let go of the chains holding you down. But before I do, I want to go over with you some things about chains, okay? So what I always tell my Success Saturday tribe to do is to take out your pen and paper. Yes, I do the same thing. Always have a pen and paper. If you can't have a pen and paper right now, that's okay. Go home, watch the replay, and get the little nuggets when you get home. But make sure you capture these nuggets because nuggets is knowledge, and this is good for you to have at your fingertips in a journal. So get your pen and paper out and let's get started. So, letting go of chains that hold you down. First of all, you might be saying, Lakisha, well, what are chains? Okay, so chains are things that hold you back from being your authentic self. I'm going to say that again. Chains are things that hold you back from being your authentic self. So I'm going to name some of them. Chains like guilt, shame, depression, regret, hurt, excuses, abuse, doubt. These are just a few chains that hold us down. Some other chains that hold us down is simply our belief system, what we actually believe. In fact, that's probably the number one chain that's holding us down. Religion can hold you down. It depends on what the religion is, what the restrictions that what restrictions the religious practice is putting on you. Religion can be something, a chain that holds you down. And lastly, your culture. Your culture can be something that holds you down. Yes, your culture, it could be how you grew up, how your family grew up, how your racial and your ethnic identity. Sometimes those are the chains that hold you down as well. So this topic is really, really deep. It's not just about talking frivolously about chains. Chains are anything that holds you down. Depression, addiction, okay? Those are chains. So I want to define what chains are because this is really important in terms of like how to overcome these chains. When I think of chains, I think of the Bible. There's a story in the Bible where I believe it was Paul. It's Acts 5:17 and 26. I don't have it in front of me, but check it out. They were in prison, and the Pharisees had put them in prison because they were preaching the gospel. They didn't want them preaching the gospel, so they put them in prison. So they were chained up in this prison. And what happened was God sent an angel to release them and told them to keep preaching somewhere else. So the angel released their chains and they left out of the prison and they went to go preach somewhere else. Well, then the Pharisees came back and they were perplexed. They were perplexed. They were like, how? Why aren't they here? They're supposed to be here. So they ended up finding them preaching. And the Pharisees, instead of asking them, like, how did you get out the prison? The Pharisees asked them, why are you still preaching? Didn't we tell you not to preach? So they ended up going to court, and a man high in the community said, you know what? We're not going to keep these men because we don't want them to be martyrs. We don't want ourselves to get killed. We're just going to let them go right now. So they beat up the apostles and let them go. And the apostles started praising Jesus. They started praising Jesus that they were let go. So here's my question. In that story, who was really in prison? I'm going to say that again. In that story, who was really in chains? Was it the apostles that were locked up, or was it the Pharisees that told them not to preach the gospel? It is important to know that your chains don't have to be visible. Your chains can be spiritual. Your chains can be mental. Your chains can be emotional. As a matter of fact, most of your chains are not visible. Studies show that when we go to work, people don't know who we really are. We hardly show what's really going on with us at work. But yet, we have so many people with these chains. So chains are invisible. What are your invisible chains? What are your invisible chains? Do you know? Write them down. Because it's important for you to know in order to overcome and let go of those chains. Notice how the topic of this video is let go of those chains. Because you are holding them. No one has you tied up. You are the only one who can let go and break the chains. There is a quote that I found that I really love. It says, never believe a prediction that does not empower you. Never believe a prediction that does not empower you. And that includes your own prediction based on your belief system. That includes your own predictions. Don't believe them if they don't empower you. So we have a little thing that we call this. Carol Dweck is a famous psychologist who came up with a concept of fixed and growth mindset. And she said most people in the world have a fixed mindset and only some people have a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is the belief that how you were is how you will always be. I'm going to say that again. A fixed mindset is the belief that how you were is how you will always be. That is a chain. A fixed mindset is a chain that you have to let go of. And let go of that and have a growth mindset. A growth mindset is someone who believes that their life is malleable, that change is normal, that they can grow and evolve, that their past does not define who they are now, and who they are now does not define who they will be in the future. That's a person that has let go of their chains. So we're going to talk about the people with fixed mindsets today around their beliefs, around who they are, around what they can do, around who they were told they were. We want to break those chains, all right? So another reason why we want to break these chains is because chains have consequences. Write that down. Chains have consequences, y'all. The biggest one is your health. It's your health. These chains affect your health. Everything I named, depression, doubt, beliefs, religion, culture, regret, they affect you and your health, mental, emotional, and your physical. Physical, your brain and your body is attached by your spine. So they both are connected. So something that is affecting your brain for years is eventually going to affect your body. So how do you break these chains so you won't be affected health-wise? Also, chains ruin relationships. Last week we talked about toxic people and people who are not toxic. So when you have chains, you become the toxic person. I'm going to say that again. When you have chains, you become the toxic person. And then you lose highly, highly healthy friendships and relationships in your life. So this affects and ruins relationships. Also, chains cause destructive behavior. I talked about addiction. I talked about violence and anger and depression and suicidal thoughts, destructive behavior, things you're doing to sabotage yourself, to sabotage your well-being. Don't sabotage your well-being. But it's a ripple effect. The chain causes you to sabotage your well-being, causes you to ruin your relationships, causing you to have health problems. So how do we get rid of the chains? First of all, you have to recognize that the chains are carried over from your childhood. Your chains are, you pull your chains into your adulthood. You pull your chains into your adulthood. I have been through counseling before, and one thing I learned through counseling is that the adult I am now is not the same child I was. Family has a tendency to always remember you as a child. I'm 46 years old, but when I get around my mom, I feel 10. She says stuff to make me feel like I'm 10. And that is what family does. Studies show that is how it is. That is how it is in family. I am always going to remember my sister as a little girl. I'm always going to remember her as a little girl. When I see her, she's a grown woman, she's married, she has children, but she's still my little sister in my way back in my mind, okay? So the same thing is going to happen with you. You have to let go of that 10-year-old. You are no longer 10. You are now a fully capable adult, fully capable of making your own decisions. You can make your own decisions in your life. So how do you successfully sever that tie? You have a soul tie to your old self. Oh, I'm going to say that again. How can you stop having a soul tie to your former self? That's going to help you, and it's going to help empower you. It's going to help empower you to let go of those chains. All right? So let's get started with how to do this. There are 6 ways I'm going to tell you. So now get your pen and paper out. I'm going to take a pause to drink some of my coffee. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay, let's go. Let's go. All right. The first way that you are going to let go of your chains is simply to write it out. Write it out. That's why I tell you as a life coach to get a pen and paper. This is some of the most powerful stuff you can do is write things out. And I'm going to tell you why. It is neurologically healthy for you to take everything you're thinking of and write it on paper. Studies have shown that your brain reacts differently from being on the computer and being on the phone than being in writing with pen and paper. So write it out. Write out why you feel depressed. Write out why you feel doubt and regret. Write out why you feel shameful. Write out why you feel angry. Put all them curse words in there. Write it out. Getting it out sort of actually affects the energy of you. Don't keep it bottled up inside. A lot of us do because we don't tell anybody. We go to work, we don't tell anybody. We go to school, we don't tell anybody anything. We just smile. We just smile. So to get it out can be difficult for some people. So write it out. Number one, write it out. It is one of the best new habits that you can pick up and practice. So I want you to do that. I want you to get a journal and start writing out your feelings. Don't write what you got to do today. Today I got to do this. Today I got to do that. I want you to write, today I feel sad. I could not pay my bills. My daughter called me, cursing me out. I feel like I have no hope. That's what I want you to write. I want you to write all the heavy stuff down and get it from here to here. And keep a daily journal, a daily diary, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Number two, the second way to let go of your chains that are holding you down is to simply acknowledge your past, acknowledge where you are presently, and don't have denial. You know, ignorance is bliss. Y'all, ignorance is bliss. I mean, it's so easy to say, forget it. I'm not thinking about this. You know, that's why a lot of people go to sleep. You ever met somebody who sleeps a lot? That's a sign of depression and denial of their waking life. Because if you have a vibrant waking life, like, you're not sleeping. You don't want to sleep. You actually feel guilty sleeping. So if you are sleeping beyond your 8 hours, something's not right. You have to explore the real reason why you sleep. And it's not just always because you're sick, and it's not just always because you're tired. Maybe because you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Maybe that's why you're sleeping. I don't know. But sleeping is not a good sign of mental stability, that oversleeping, like sleeping all the time, like a depression sleep. It is a way to get away from your life. So is addiction. When you talk to people who are addicted to alcohol, addicted to drugs, they're trying to get away. They're trying to ignore their problems. They want to get away from their problems, and the problem is here most of the time. This is the problem. And they're usually getting away from chains. I sleep to get away from the chains. I drink to get away from the chains. I take drugs to get away from the chains. So I want to say, if you have an addiction, please seek help immediately. Please seek help immediately if you have an addiction. Because it's very hard to break those things by yourself. You need a support group. The next one, number 3. You are going to let go of the chains that are holding you down by planning to break every chain. Yes, planning. I said it, planning. Plan to break every chain. What are you going to do to get some support from other people? People need people. Look, if it's one thing I learned during the pandemic, is that people need people. Okay? So get a support group, get your friends, get around the community. Community solve problems. Most problems in the world are solved by just small communities. It's rare that a large group gets together to solve a problem. It's always a small group. Get a small support group around you. Plan that. You know, when I decided that I needed a community around me, I sought a community. I always tell the story of how I became a planner. I used to always plan. I mean, I have a planner right here. I have been a planner in paper since high school. But as I got older, I found nobody else who really took it as seriously as me. And I felt alone. So what did I do? I first acknowledged that I felt alone in my journey and my love for planning. I didn't have anybody around me who loved planning, who even understood it. So what I did is I went on YouTube and I typed in planning, and I found other people who did the same thing as I did. And I watched a couple people. I would follow people. I would even follow them and watch them as I planned. Then I said, well, I wonder if there's a planner conference. I mean, there's a conference for everything. I went online and I found the conference that changed my life. It's called the Go Wild Planner Conference. So check it out. I went to that conference. It changed my life. I found my community. If you don't have a community around you, go find it. You are an adult. You know how many communities are there on meetups and meeting apps and meeting.com, and go find your community. It's somebody else out there is interested in or needs help in the same thing you do. I promise. I promise. You just have to find them. Okay? Another way to plan to break every chain is to change your friends. I'm sorry. I know that probably sounds mean to some people. Change your friends. If you have friends that are toxic, if you have friends where you feel like they're here and you're here, or you feel like they're over here and you're over here, maybe it's time to change your friends. Our friends can contribute to our friends can help us hold the chains down. They're not helping us break them. So if you're not helping me break my chains, you help me hold them together real nice and tight. Okay? So you might need to change your friends. So look to your left, look to your right, look at all the people in your life and see who you need to strategically cut. Because that will release you from a lot of burden and pain, especially if these are toxic people. But I am a life coach who's Christian. So I have to build my faith. I have to read the word, and I have to attend church and really be part of a faith community. If you are religious and spiritual, find your community, your faith community. Faith is very powerful with combating chains. That was number 3. All that was number 3. Number 4, heal your wounds. Oh, this is good. Notice how all of these, I'm not telling somebody else to help you. You have to do this. You have to plan to break every chain. You have to heal your wounds. This is a self-made journey. Heal your own wounds. How do I do that? How do I do that, Lakisha? First, you begin with forgiveness. You got to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for all of the things that you've been through. Forgive yourself if you think you were a horrible mom. Forgive yourself if you feel like you were just a mean person all your life. Forgive yourself if you've committed crimes. Forgive yourself if you have offended people. Don't have regret. You can't have regret if you have forgiven yourself. Forgive yourself. Work on that self-forgiveness, and then work on forgiving others. Because if you forgive yourself, it's going to be so easy to forgive everybody else. Also, heal your wounds by practicing stable emotions. You know, I always tell people are like, Lakisha, you always happy, excited. I love your energy. That's because I have good emotional management. And who manages Lakisha's emotions? Lakisha does. Nobody else manages my emotions. So become a good manager of your emotions. Practice being stable. Practice not going from 0 to 100 real quick. Practice recognizing when you're sad and when you're lonely and when you're tired and when you're angry. Practice noticing that and then do something to turn that around. Be and study. Be your own healer of your emotions and study yourself. Write that down. Be your own healer of your emotions and study yourself. It's the best thing you're going to be able to do for yourself, I promise. And then you're going to work out your mental health. You're going to really focus on your mental health. Self-care is really big right now because it's important. It's really important if you've been through trauma in the past. Self-care, allowing yourself, freeing yourself to take care of yourself, not self-punishment, not self-neglect. Some of us neglect ourselves. Oh, I know I'm supposed to exercise, but I'm not. You're neglecting yourself. Oh, I know I'm supposed to eat well, but I'm not. That's self-neglection. If you know you're supposed to do something and you don't do it, it's neglect, y'all, for yourself. So practice self-care. Don't self-punish. Self-punishing, an example of self-punishing is saying, well, I'm never going to have love, so I'm forget it. I'm just going to give up on love. Even though you really want it. You really want love. But you're going to give up on love and punish yourself? Why? Why are you going to do that? Don't self-punish yourself. I'm not, I'm not I I'm going through changes in my life, so I'm just not going to have fun. I'm not going to have fun. I'm just going to stay right here and sit in this chair and look at you. Self-punishment. Go have some fun. Life is ebbs and flows. Life is mountains and valleys. That doesn't mean you have to punish yourself when you're in the valley. You just sit there and look at the valley. Go have some fun. Go try to climb the mountain. All right. The last thing for number 4 about heal your wounds is to eat nutritiously. Your wellness, your health and wellness is paramount. So you want to ingest things that build you up, those leafy greens, those high protein, high fiber vegetables, fruit, lean meats. You want to ingest the good stuff and stay away from the bad stuff, the salts, the sugars. But doing this means that I care about myself, that I appreciate myself. So none of these things work by themselves that I'm telling you. They all work together for the good of you. They all work together for the good of you. Number 5, have faith in the one who created you. I just did a video on my other channel. I have another channel called Lakisha Loves to Plan, so check that out. On that channel, I plan, and I also do clean with me and decorating videos. And I did a collab with my friend Michelle from Vin Von Alley, so check out that YouTube channel as well. She also has a shop, vinvonalley.com. And the collab was on the word faithfulness. And it was just such a blessing to talk about faithfulness. Because in the moment of talking about faithfulness, I realized that faith is synonymous with love. So Jesus died on the cross for us because he loved us and because he had faithfulness towards us. So how can we practice for ourselves what Jesus did? How can we have faithfulness for ourselves and have faithfulness for God? So spend time with God. Meditate. Pray. Just sit still like this. Just sit like this. And get connected to the God that's already in you. That is number 5. Number 6. I was looking at a lady called Marissa Peer. Check her out. She is a phenomenal speaker. She was talking about how she helps people get over their chains. And she said when she encounters people, there are 3 things that they're struggling with. So make sure you write this down. They are either struggling with feeling like they're not enough, or they're struggling with thinking something they want is not available. Thinking something you want is not available. I want a child, but I'm too old. Or I want to go to school, but I'm not the best reader. Like things like that, like really wanting something. I want to get married, but it seems like it's impossible. Thinking something you want is not available. And then the last thing she finds people struggling with is that they are extremely different than everybody else. Feeling like you extremely different from everybody else. That feeling of not enough brings in insecurity. It brings in doubt in yourself. How can you overcome that not enough? That feeling of wanting something so bad but thinking it's not available is depressing. It causes you to be depressed. How can I stop being depressed? That feeling of I am very different from everybody else brings on loneliness. It brings on loneliness. How do I stop being lonely? Practice these other 5 things. Get a community behind you. Take care of yourself. Plan to do something about it. Counseling, life coaching, therapy, do something. Don't just let life live you. You should live your life. Life shouldn't live you. For a lot of us, we let life live us. We wake up, we don't know what we're doing today. We let life tell us. I don't want you to do that. I want you to wake up and tell life what to do. Create your life. Bring forth life to yourself. That's what my hope is for you. So Marissa Peer, she gave these 3 things and she said, you know what? You may be right. Maybe you are feeling like you're not enough. Maybe you are feeling like what you want is not available. And maybe you are feeling like you're different from everybody else. But there is something that is available to all of us. You know what that is? It's love. Love is available to all of us. So if you can love, if you can practice loving on yourself and loving on others, you may just find out that you are enough. You may recognize that what you want is not that impossible. And you may understand that your difference is a gift to others. These are the ways you will break the chains that's holding you down. All right, y'all. I'm telling you, this was a good topic. Listen to this over and over again. Sink it in. Because if you have chains, you can break them. The God in you can break them. And love can break them. You just have to put in the work. All right? So I hope y'all have a good time. If you did, comment below. Tell me what you think about this topic, about this subject. Tell me about anything that I said that resonated with you in the comments. And I promise I will get to you. I promise I will respond to your comments. Also, click subscribe if you like this video. If you want to hear more things about life and just being human, please join my tribe. I am here every single week. And until next time, you know what I'm about to say, tribe. You know what I'm about to say. Today is Self-Love Saturday. Give a love to yourself. Love on yourself. Matter of fact, right now, just hug on yourself. Just hug yourself. What are you going to do today to give yourself some love? Put that in the comments. What are you going to do today to give yourself some love? I don't know. I'm at a birthday party right now. That's why I can't be here and I'm recording. I can't be here live. So I am giving myself some love today by just having fun with my friends. So what are you doing today? All right. Great. Next week is my last video in the Let series. Next week, we will talking about, I have my notes up here. Yes. Let God use you. Next week, the topic will be let, L-E-T, God use you. I'm telling you, that's going to be a good finale to this series. You don't want to miss it. And I will be live next Saturday. Until then, be blessed. and have a productive, peaceful, and planned life. Talk to you later. Bye, friends.